All right, guys, it's Lisa. We're going to get right into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because whatever, Easter weekend just happened. So behind. The season is so boring. I don't even think I'm going to spend more than 10 minutes on this. They're still in Italy and they finally go back home to Beverly Hills. I do not care about PK and Dorit's divorce. I don't care about Dorit's finances, and I definitely don't care about whether or not Dorit and Kyle are friends or not. And I don't know if it's because Kyle, she could pull strings like that, and if she's able to tell production, I don't want to talk about it, so we're not going to be talking about it. I don't know if she got it like that. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. And I don't know if Erika is just adamant that we're not going to be talking about this issue either, so everybody's just focused on Dorit. Because I feel like whoever the editors are on that production crew that decided that this season we're going to center it around Dorit, no, you guys need a demotion, because what the hell? I would have liked for the season to explore Erika and her relationship with her man that we're not allowed to talk about. I would also like to explore what the hell is going on with Mo. We still don't know why Kyle and Mo got a divorce or separated. They're not divorced. She kind of talks a little bit about her dabbling in the lesbian pool, but not really, because she doesn't mention Morgan's name, and then she doesn't outright say it. But what she says is that, oh, well, I was in a relationship with this person, and, I was okay with being out in the open about it, but this person was not okay about being out in the open about it. Let me tell you, Morgan Way came out of the closet, so I don't know what the two of them were beating around the bush about, but it's the fact that she still would not just come out and say she had a lesbian relationship, because she's like, well, I could go either way. I could go Brad or Angelia. Girl, just say it. Just say it. So everybody's focused on the bullshit with Dorit, okay? It all just kind of centers around this final dinner at Italy. I will say this. Erika, when she was chewing Dorit's ass out for being late, I was like, get her, Erika, get her, because that is so rude. That is so rude to be wasting people's time. And I'm so glad that Erika finally was the one that called her out. She comes down, she's late again. And why are you always late? Why are you always late? Now, I know that Crystal, on her podcast that she does with Cynthia Bailey, The Humble Brag, she says that Dorit's always late because she's smoking a cigarette. And I guess she's trying to clean off the smell. And that's why she's always late. I don't know. But she's late, right? Erika rips into her. Dorit, stop it with the bullshit, because you've always been late. Even in the reunion. You guys forget about that reunion. She was like 2 hours late. Andy Cohen was like, we're going to start filming without her. And then she finally arrived. I feel like Dorit, she's really pushing the buttons. I don't know if she's going to get demoted or not. But listen, she survived all this, right? I mean, she's been on for how many seasons now? And every season, the Dorit haters, they're always like, she's leaving, she's going. I don't know, but somehow she's like a cockroach. She always comes back. So who knows? The fact is, you coming late to your reunion, which is like your end of the year evaluation. I was so surprised that she came back after that. Erika, when she was going into it, I was like, get her, Erika, get her. Everything that Erika said was correct. You are always late. Why were you late? What, are your kids more important than us? It's so rude. It's so disrespectful. It's like your time is more important than ours. And knowing that you were going to be late, why didn't you have enough respect to text one of us, hey, I'm running late, start without me? I think that's the thing that really annoys all of them, is that she doesn't even let them know. I think she just runs late and she just shows up. That's entitlement. That's you thinking that you're the head bitch in charge, that your time is more important than anybody else's time. Beverly Hills is to Kyle Richards what Teresa is to New Jersey. And you notice Kyle, she doesn't have that, entitlement where she's going to be late. Everybody's just going to be waiting on her. One thing that I notice about Kyle, I don't see her very often with a glam team. I'm sure she probably does do it for the reunion or whatever, but in a lot of the scenes, you see her doing her own makeup. So I really do like that about Kyle. And I'm not a Kyle Richards fan, but I'm even less of a Dorit's fan, because I don't know how Bose could deal with something like that, especially because Bose, she's been in corporate America, and that shit would not fly. She would have gotten fired right then and there. But anyway, Erika's like, we're all going through stuff. I'm going through stuff. And Dorit, I can't believe Dorit had the audacity to be like, oh, you are? You are? Erika's like, what the fuck do you mean? She's like, I'm getting sued. My husband's in jail. He's going to die in jail. I'm getting sued for $25 million. Like, what the fuck do you mean? That is the entitlement. And I was, you know what, in this episode, I was like, oh, Dorit, I don't like you in this episode. I don't like watching you on my television screen in this episode. Everything that Erika said, where was the lie? Where was the lie? Bose and Rachel, they both feel the same way. They both feel the same way. Rachel tried to soften it a little bit by saying, you know, I already had that conversation with Dorit. I don't like it when people are late. Like, no, girl, you probably should have addressed it the way Erika did, because obviously, however way you addressed it to her, she blew it off like it wasn't anything. You need to have consequences. Let me tell you, that's the only way that you would learn. I remember in my first job, I was perpetually late, and then I got fired for being late. So you need consequences. I feel like Dorit, she's not going to stop it until she gets consequences, because she hasn't gotten any. And that's just crazy. That is so crazy. And then even in her Watch What Happens Live, when Andy was asking her about her lateness, she said something like, well, I'll try to take that into consideration. Like, girl, what? What? I'm so surprised that that kind of entitlement hasn't gotten her fired yet. But maybe this will be, this will be what does her in. We'll see. We'll see how the reunion goes. Anyway, so then Kyle and Dorit, they get into the whole bullshit about she's going through her shit with PK. I don't care. I don't care about their made-for-TV friendship. Let me tell you, when Kyle Richards said that me and Dorit, we're not cool like that. She's not my friend like that. We're not besties like that. That was the truth. That is the truth. She's trying to walk it back now and say this and that, and it was because Dorit showed the text message, or, she was in her feels or whatever, blah, 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 blah. No, what she's trying to explain now is all bullshit. Anything else afterwards is just BS explanation. And I think the reason why Dorit is feeling whatever way she's feeling is because she knows that, okay, well, we're not friends like that. So they're being cordial. They're playing it up for the cameras, whatever. It's a franchise that thrives on drama. They need conflict and resolution. But when filming wraps, those two are not getting together for lunch or whatever, or doing any of that. Anyway, Dorit, she gets up from the dinner table and she walks away. Kathy Hilton goes after her to talk to her, hear her out. Erika starts crying. I don't even know why Erika's crying. Maybe she's just frustrated. Who the hell knows? I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, everybody eventually goes back to Beverly Hills. Rachel's having a birthday celebration. She's 37 years old for like the last 50 years, whatever. Kudos to you, girl. She's having a party. That's basically like where the episode ends. Of course, Dorit, Bose, and Rachel, they're talking about what happened in the Italy trip, and Dorit's like, I'm able to accept it when I hear it from you guys, meaning Rachel and Bose, because, you guys are saying it without judgment. I mean, that's what Bose says in her confessional. She's like, the difference between me saying something to Dorit and Kyle saying the same thing is that I'm saying it without judgment. I guess it is true. I do feel like Kyle Richards is more a friend to PK than she is to Dorit. But listen, do not be surprised, because Kyle is not your friend. She straight up said it. Did we even do 15 minutes? Anyway, I am going to do Rory next, Rhode Island.